In this lesson, we will finalize our blocking pass. Let's say we play through the animation again just to get a feel for what's happening and what we'd like to do after the segment that we've already animated. Alright, so this is the moment where the pilot is going to do a system check. He's going to check his arms just to make sure everything's working correctly. And then by the time he checks the left arm, which is the last arm he'll check, we'll take it a step further and we'll have him activate the weapon. Again, just so it feels like, hey, he's just making sure that all systems are go. Now because of that, we'll probably want to add more frames to our ending, because if this happens too quickly, we'll lose a sense of weight and the audience might miss what has happened. So let's say we go ahead and set our end time to 300, and that should give us more than enough time to sell this idea. Alright, sweet. So now it's time to get started. Let's go ahead and grab our control objects. I'll go ahead and adjust our range slider so that we're focusing on the end of the animation. So I might set this to about 170. Let's go ahead and grab our arm control. Sweet. So we'll have him look over to the right side first, our left. Let's go to frame 188. This should give us enough time to sell the weight here. If this happens too quickly, our mech will look weightless. So on 188, we'll go ahead and bring his right arm up and over. Now let's have some fun here. Let's also have him open up his claw as well, like he's checking his fingers. Sweet. Later we'll have him open and close the claw as we start to polish this. But for right now, we're just throwing together our idea. Now on 188, let's also grab his center of gravity and rotate it over to his right and down just slightly so it looks like he's looking at that arm. Not too much, because if it happens way too much, then it'll look too stylized. So it should be a subtle turn. Fantastic. So once we like this idea, we can then go ahead and grab all of our controls. Let's make sure we're not grabbing the set. I might go ahead and set that to reference mode. And again, we're going to just hold this idea long enough for the audience to read what's happening. So let's go ahead and move to about frame 232 and we'll press the S key. That way we lock in this pose. Fantastic. So this should be enough room for us to open and close the claw. Alright, great. Let's go ahead and have him look at the left arm now. So again, we don't want this to happen too soon. We'll go to about frame 252. Let's go ahead and grab the center of gravity control. We'll rotate slightly over to his right now. Or our right, his left. Let's now go ahead and grab his arm control. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Sweet. We'll also go ahead and have him open up his claw. Cool. Let's go ahead and scrub through the animation. Alright, that looks nice. But here's what's not so nice. The arms are distracting right now. Why is that? That's because both arms are up. We're trying to sell the idea that the pilot is just doing a system check on each arm, right? He's already checked the right arm. So let's go ahead and drop that down. So on 252, we'll go ahead and bring that down. And we'll also go ahead and close the claw just a bit. We don't have to set it to a value of 0. Just go ahead and close it some. Nice. So now it's clear that, hey, it's time to check the other arm. Cool. And yes, this looks kind of robotic right now. Right? It looks kind of robotic, but we're going to offset keys when we start to polish the animation so it looks more natural. Again, we're just blocking in our idea. So now it's time to basically finish up by animating the gun. So here's what we'll do on 252. We'll go to our gun channel, right click and choose key selected. Let's go a few frames after and we'll have the gun reach about to its first stage. So let's go ahead and set our gun value to 4. Sweet. So now what we want is more of a hold so that the audience will read that, hey, this is the gun's first stage. So we'll go to about frame 259. Let's go ahead and right click on our gun channel to save this pose. And now it's time to have it open up fully. So let's say we go to about frame 262 and we'll set the guns channel to its max of 10. Fantastic. So take a look at that. The gun now comes out in stages. Very fun. So let's go ahead and take a look at our work overall. I'll go in and hide the curves. Let's go ahead and double click on our range slider to go back to the beginning of the animation. We'll adjust our camera and we'll hit play. Really exciting. I like to use sound effects just to get into the mood and the vibe of the animation. So that looks great. Now keep in mind that eventually the camera is going to kind of orbit around just a bit. So we'll want to make sure our silhouette for the left arm looks good by the time we get to the end of the camera's animation. And we'll check all of that once we start to finalize things. So even after we have finished our polish pass, that doesn't mean the animation is done. We'll spend a little bit of time just checking everything, making sure we're satisfied with the entire performance before we call it finished. But as of right now, this lesson is finished, and in the next lesson, we'll go ahead and work on our polish pass.